America is not a racist country.
Ladies and gentlemen, the most ineffective jury on the face of the earth is the all white jury. The all white jury will put the wrong black man in jail. And if you did not get the correct person that committed the crime, then even the victim family did not get the justice that they thought they were getting. So they done robbed the victim's family out of justice, and they robbed the defendant that's innocent and went to jail for decades out of having a normal life, being a productive part of society, watching their children grow up, probably missed the funeral of their parents and siblings while they were behind bars, just robbed them out of everything. So at the end of the day, when you put the wrong person in jail, nobody benefited at all. The victim's family didn't, and the defendant sitting in there needlessly for decades didn't benefit either. So it's the most ineffective jury you could possibly have on a case. Blinded by racism, don't care if it's the right person or not. Put them in there anyway. And because of that kind of thinking, that's why we see exonerations every single day in America. Every day. So you can see how many lives were actually messed up by these juries. They should be abolished. America has never, ever been an all white country, and there should never be all white juries. This country has never been all white since its inception. So, why should there be all white juries anywhere? So, ladies and gentlemen, this story came out on NPR, and a North Carolina man who was wrongfully imprisoned for 24 years is pardoned. So this came out November 13th, 2021. North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper on Friday pardoned a man who spent 24 years behind bars for a murder he has long said he did not commit. And that's another thing. When you got all white juries, they won't listen to an innocent black man. They won't listen to him at all. And in many cases, ladies and gentlemen, they got the DNA evidence that don't match the man that's on trial, but they'll hide it. You got prosecutors and cops that will hide evidence that can clear these men easy. And they'll just go to hiding it just to get somebody in there. No concern, no care about the accuracy and getting the right person. Don't care. That's why y'all should be abolished from being a jury. All right. Cooper's pardon of innocence allowed Dante Sharp, that's the man you see in this picture, to apply for compensation up to $750,000 for his wrongful conviction. That is a joke. He lost 24 years sitting behind bars, $750,000. No, that should be in the millions. Mr. Sharp and others who have been wrongly convicted deserve to have the injustice fully and publicly acknowledged, the governor said in a statement announcing he had pardoned the man after a careful review of the case. Okay, well, if you can find discrepancies in the case now, you should have been able to find those discrepancies even back then. In 1995, Sharp was given a life sentence at the age of 19. That is ridiculous. For a first degree murder of a 33-year-old George Radcliffe, whom he was accused of killing a year earlier during a drug deal. Sharp had maintained his innocence throughout and said that in 2019, so he did an interview in 2019 and said his faith and knowledge he was innocent guided his refusal to accept offers of lighter sentences in exchange for a guilty plea. And see, that's the thing. They will make black men, especially one that's wrongfully accused, and they refuse to believe, because that's really what it comes down to. They refuse to believe anything that a black man says, even if it's the truth. And you see their cops conduct themselves like that out here, and so do the vigilantes among them. They all conduct themselves in the same manner. Anything that a black man says, they just automatically dismiss. In a viral news conference Friday, just an hour after Cooper's announcement, Sharp said he was in disbelief when his lawyer called him with the news. He said he was still processing it and also was thinking of those who had taken to the streets and held vigils on his behalf. I'm still in a haze, kind of, Sharp said. When you're dealing with us human beings, it can go any way. Yes and no. I didn't know what to expect. I was believing for a pardon. The governor's case against Sharp relied in part on testimony from a 15-year-old girl at the time who claimed she saw Sharp kill Radcliffe, but later recanted and said she wasn't present at the time of the shooting. Then she should go to jail. See, that's the one that should have been sitting in jail for perjuring herself. So she got up on the stand and lied about Sharp killing someone. And then she later recanted. And at that point, when she recanted, she should have been jailed. But being that this is the land of the injustice, they're not going to do that. It's too much like right. She later said her claims were made up based on what investigators told her. Yeah, I've heard that before, how police and investigators, and we saw it in the Breonna Taylor case, where they claimed they announced themselves. The neighbors that lived all around Breonna Taylor said they did not hear those cops announce themselves. There was an African neighbor, and he later came forward and said he was threatened, so he lied and said he did hear the police announce themselves, but he later recanted what he said and said that the police pretty much threatened him. That's why he said that. So we even see these things today. All right. So Sharp was unsuccessful in his repeated efforts for a new trial until a former medical examiner testified that the state's theory of the shooting was not medically or scientifically possible. A judge subsequently ordered more evidence to be heard. Sharp was released from prison in August 2019 after the prosecutor said the state wouldn't pursue a retrial. The useless NAACP, I threw that in, had long pushed for Sharp's release over the years and urged Cooper to issue a pardon of innocence. In recent months, racial justice groups have demanded that the governor grant Sharp the clemency needed in order to apply for compensation for his wrongful conviction. Yeah, and look how low they make the compensation after you sat in there for decades. It just proves how much they devalue a black man in this country. That's your evidence right there, the low compensation. Okay. They held vigils in front of Cooper's state residence in downtown Raleigh for several weeks. The Reverend Anthony Spearman, a longtime North Carolina NAACP leader who was among those who participated in a vigil outside the governor's mansion pushing for a pardon, said this should have happened a long time ago. He's right about that. He should never have been in jail. And they had evidence. And plus, their number one witness was not even present when the murder happened, and she perjured herself. But, they're going to let her remain free. So, of course, he's thankful for his release. I'm glad he's out. I'm glad he can be with his family now. And I just hope that all of these men that are being exonerated on a regular basis in America can get decent compensation and go on with whatever life they got left. This is a travesty that we keep seeing getting repeated over and over and over and over. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.